She's aye.
Aye.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7-0, because 2 were absent.
Yep.
So that's Joanna, Janet, and 7-0.
Hey, Dave, the pen don't work. Pen in my coat for you. I don't know.
Give me that one.
Oh, that's
There's
funny.
something missing on the top.
And I forgot that I just
Something
It
remember.
does work, except you have
You have to hold the
it.
top.
Yeah.
I just remembered, I forgot to say the following. This meeting will be video recorded and broadcast over local access channel 8 and through the town website at www-ma.gov. eastama.gov. Okay, so we've approved the minutes, and again, thank you, Stacy. And on to the agenda. The agenda is, item number 2 is the financial information. And I want to thank Tina for sending it out. This is for the end of September, 9:30. And I also want to thank you. You put down, which you haven't done before, but I want to thank you. At the bottom of the project thing, you put down where the monies came. Yeah. So I want to thank you very much for doing that. Okay, so we'll look at, my way a little. I'm going to look at the CPA cash balance first and see if there's any questions regarding that. And I have some comments. Obviously the taxes were due on 11/1, so they're not shown here. So probably when we get the next one, well, let me see, 9:30, 10:30.
Coming in.
So some will come in before 11/1.
Got a good amount.
Yeah. And so, the next month and the following month, we should see the majority of what, the CPA taxes surcharge. And obviously, as we've discussed, the investment income went up 12,000, from last month. And I have a question. Given the fact that we have put, a large amount of money into the housing reserve, the 400,000. We have a lot of money sitting to be, waiting to be used. Do we, and interest rates, I know probably going down a little, but that they're still pretty high. Do we have any monies in a CD, and are we even able to put monies in a CD? Because the monies that are in the housing, it's fine. The monies that are in the housing probably aren't going to be used right away. So I was just wondering whether we can earn
Some more money on it.
earn a little more money if it's sitting there.
We've had this question before, and really it's not a good idea to put this money in a CD because of the different moves it makes throughout the year. And as far as the housing reserves, I've kind of planned out what the projects we have, and we are hitting that housing reserve. That 760 for one project would wipe it out totally.
Right.
So no, I do not want to put that money in
Yeah.
a CD. I need it to have to spend.
Yeah, okay, so just in general, we're not able, can we say we're not able to put monies in?
It's not wise.
It's not, yeah, okay, it's not wise, but depending upon the situation, if it was wise,
Mhm.
we could do it. I guess that's,
I think that if you did that, Mary, if you did it, it would have to be a 6-month CD.
Mhm.
We would have to get Maya on board with it.
Mm.
And she's not too crazy about doing it for 6 months, but we would have to wait till our year ended, we approved all our projects and all that, and you could do it maybe from 3 months at the end of the year and 3 months at the beginning of the year. But then we need to free that money up again for your next projects coming
Mhm.
through.
Mhm.
You don't want to have that money tied up.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on I'm looking at the CPA cash balance as of 9/30/2024. Does anybody have any questions on any of the items? All righty, so I'll go to the other report, our other financial report, which is the project listing. And I see, I have a couple questions. And again, I want to thank Tina for the information down below for the September expenses. You have on the bottom, Tina, Higgins Stewardship Program for $4,000 that was spent in September, but I don't see that listed up under the Higgins Stewardship thing.
I think I made a mistake when I wrote,
Property survey.
yeah, historic, I'm sorry, my fault. It shouldn't say Higgins, it should say the historic survey.
Oh, that's the survey.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Because the Higgins stewardship full amount of 5,600 is going back into open space funds. Yeah, I noticed that. too,
So let me see, I'm looking to see where the survey is.
It's right below it.
The Historic Property Survey.
Yeah.
I just went up and tried to copy and paste and I guess I wasn't.
So,
paying attention.
so should that be, is the 4,000 in the 18,000 or is it, should that be added? I'm looking at the-
4,000 is in the 18.
It's in the 18. Okay, okay. So it's not like we're adding additional monies that have been expended. It's just that it's in a different category. Okay. And did we ever get a final report on the town hall?
No, I have not gotten that yet.
Okay, we need, Jackie's got to do that for us. And let me see. There is there's a question, I think there's a question on the Orleans affordable housing where we have expended the 100,000 that we agreed to. Is that the Cape Cod 5? I think that's the Cape Cod 5
Yes, yes.
Penrose
Yes.
property. Yeah,
And it's going up.
yeah, I know it is
Yeah.
going up. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. So we need to get a final report on that.
Yeah, they just requested the funds, but I'll reach out to them for
Okay,
the final
okay,
report.
okay. Do we?
Aren't we paying that once the project is
Well,
finished?
that,
though?
that was a question, that I have as to the timing of, because it looks to me like we paid it.
We did, and I meant to print out
The conditions?
the conditions, but I see it here. It does not specifically say at the end, it says,
I didn't have a chance to pull out all my condition stuff on that project.
I just remember Dan being a real stickler about
I know.
waiting
Yes,
until that's
and I
finished.
think we all are,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because obviously it's
I
not
think.
completed.
I think it was, we didn't want to give, I might be wrong, but I can go back and listen to the meetings. It was, you didn't want to give any seed money
Seed
per
money.
se to start the project. But
right,
if
right.
they were well into it and building, then the money could be expended. And it does say that in the conditions. I can go print out the copy.
Okay, so maybe we should look at that for next month. I just want to make sure that because it's been paid. I mean, the bill came in, somebody approved it. You paid it.
yeah, it came through, so I thought the project was finished. I didn't
Oh,
have a
it's certainly
problem
not
with.
finished.
No,
No, there's no way it's finished.
Yes, Stacy came to me asking about another one,
yeah, 107 Main Street.
Oh,
that they
that's-
wanted their money early, and I was like,
That's
not-
another 100,000.
That's not
Yes.
what the committee approved, and I said, we wait till the project is
Yeah.
finished before we do.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Then we need to change the conditions because the conditions don't specifically
For the
say.
107 Main Street?
For going forward. I mean,
Oh.
everyone signed off on the conditions in the current projects.
I think that we've been pretty strict
Yeah,
about
we've
when
been
those
strict.
types
I
of
think, I
monies
think
get
we
paid.
need to be definitive
Hmm.
as
Do we-
to when it
Wh-
gets
wh-
released.
Well,
That's right.
We said it isn't gonna be seed money. We also said, we made sure that the project was viable without us.
Mhm.
So
Right.
our thought was that
It's
certainly
at the end.
at the end, it would be given because they didn't need it at the beginning. They told us that they don't need it as seed money, they don't need it at the beginning. So if we were gonna be prudent in our fiduciary responsibility, maybe we don't give it till it's closer to the end.
Mhm.
Well,
But that has
closer
be
to the
more-
end.
That has to be more definitive
Yeah,
than closer
Yeah.
to the end.
Do you want to wait until they're ready to do a ribbon cutting? I mean.
No.
that's-
Yeah, see, I think that's,
No, it's gotta be
that's-
before that.
that's like the
I mean-
typical government. We
Right.
Pay you back when you've already taken out a loan,
Right.
so you can get it done, and then so we want it flexible enough to,
Yeah.
not
I
at the
agree with you.
beginning, but
Not at the end.
when
I mean,
it's,
that
So,
would be a good question for project managers. At what juncture,
Yeah.
is this best used? Is it used at,
I can think
75,
of one.
80% or something?
I could think of one, a CO on the building. It's not at the very end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah,
much
yeah.
at the
And
very
it-
end.
Well, no, then you got all kinds of dedication stuff and everything, but you're not gonna do it a building permit.
If you've got the certificate of occupancy, then that's,
That means the building is done. That doesn't mean the
Right,
site
right.
work's done and all
right,
that.
right, right.
I don't know. I mean, certainly, we didn't have any resistance when we said to them, you're gonna get it later rather than earlier, and they said, fine.
Mhm.
Yes, you
But-
did ask them that and they said they were fine with it coming in.
So I can't think of can anybody think of another place to put it rather than CO?
It should probably be some, I'm not disagreeing you, I'm just saying and I don't have all, as I mentioned earlier, I don't have my conditions
Right.
here. I think it's something that we should have in the conditions written out plainly, and we use that number of the conditions when we approve a project like that.
Well, don't all projects have a schedule of completion?
Mhm.
So, I mean, we could look at their application and schedule of completion and look at it and this, if this is, 80% done or 90% done or something, I don't know about waiting for a CO. I think that's really late, personally,
Right.
because that's move in. You can have you get a CO, you can have your folks move in that day.
Right.
So that's,
The other way to do it is to say that we will vote based on when they give us a schedule and we feel it's appropriate to do it.
well, I mean, they give us, all of these applications, well, they should have a schedule of completion. I
Nobody
mean,
ever, usually nobody can adhere to the schedule. Things get delayed and in other words, if you don't have a goal mark, something happening, you can't say 6 months from now because they may not have even started. So I'm trying to get to something that you can put your thumb on and say, okay, when this happens, you get your money. And it can't be time. It has to be an event.
Mm.
Because we know how long it could be delayed getting approved and getting billed. So what kind of event can we have? I mean, I'm open. I don't know. I just.
Well,
think-
what have we done before my time? What did we do? I mean, we've been involved with a number of similar projects.
can you
but-
check?
Same thing, because Dan was the chair. So I know what he says every time. You have to wait to the end, and I don't think waiting for that is too late, because they still have so many expenses. They're still paying.
Mhm, mhm.
And $100,000 is a
It's a big
drop in the
deal out
bucket.
of millions of dollars.
Yes, so I don't think that that's a bad time frame. I really don't.
So then the dollar amount to the project, it shouldn't have gone out,
No, it should not.
the
Correct.
Penrose.
Who approved?
Oh,
Okay, so we won't do this in the future that way. I think
So then for all projects, like the schoolhouse museum, the town hall project, which was incrementally paid out.
No, I think town of Eastham projects can come earlier than
Mhm,
that. We're
mhm.
talking about out of town projects. That's
Yeah, and
in
we're-
my opinion.
we're talking about one lump sum.
Yeah, that's right.
Eastham and the Schoolhouse Museum are sending invoices and
Right.
saying, this work is done.
Mhm.
We're not getting anything from these companies saying
Right.
this
Right,
work
right.
is
All
done.
all we're
Right.
getting from them is,
Mhm.
give us our 100,000.
Right.
Okay.
So maybe it's only for the out of town and maybe it is.
So I think that we have to put something in particular, verbiage in particular in the conditions listing
Right.
that we would use going forward for any project similar to this one.
So what we want to do is insert that into. It would only apply to out of town projects, but
Right.
insert that into the conditions.
Conditions,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wonder why Paul went ahead with it. We'll get his
No.
input.
Doesn't have any help. He's probably a little scattered and
Well, Also because the conditions don't say specifically not to be paid until the end.
Yeah.
And they did send an itemized list of the, of
What-
of
Oh,
what was being-
they sent something?
Yeah,
I don't know, I haven't seen anything.
I can send that out to everyone,
Yeah.
Well, it's gone. I mean.
Yeah, right.
but I mean, just
The
for
100,000 is gone.
Yeah, doesn't matter what we, doesn't matter really what we do now, it's gone.
But I think Dan's main concern, and of course, I think it's all our concern, we don't want to give them that money and then something happened and the project goes south
That's
and then we
right.
can't recover our
That's
money.
right, yeah. So later rather than earlier is preferable for various reasons, like you've just described. Okay, so we will be working on the verbiage for the conditions and make sure that we put something, that we use that that
Right.
number, whatever the number is that we end up with
Yep.
when we have future projects like that. Okay, and I want to make a couple of comments also on the state match. I hope all of you, I mean, a long time ago.
I have a question.
Oh,
on
sure,
this.
yeah, go ahead.
Is there a reason, because we closed out the Wiley Park shade shelter last month, but you don't have it zeroed out here?
No, sir, I'm,
It'll show up on next month's.
yes, sir, I'm closing it in
Yeah,
October.
That's what I thought, okay.
Yeah, based on time that was paid.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other questions on the project? What I'm looking at right now is the project list. And I just want to make a comment. I think a long time ago, well, I should probably update it. I gave the coalition the emails of the folks on the committee here. I should add your name, Elaine. And I think everybody else are you receiving the emails from the coalition, Community Preservation Coalition, and showing information about the state match in particular? That's, I know you haven't because you weren't on the list from before, so I'm going to have to add your name, Elaine. So originally, we thought that we wouldn't be getting very much. I think it was 14%. And now we may be getting a little bit more because some registry of deeds numbers didn't come in at a timely fashion. And so when it did come in, that's increased what was received. So I don't know what we're going to get, but they're saying it's around 14 or maybe a little bit more. So we'll see. Let me see, is there anything else that I want to talk about? And we never did we ever get the final report for the CDP, the 7,500?
that in the package that I sent out.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was.
Oh, you've got, no, just
Oh, I-
just now?
I sent it out, but yours
Because of
might
my
have been
email
blocked, yeah.
insanity. Okay, I'm
Um,
sorry, okay.
So here is,
Yeah, using our form.
One thing after another.
so they sent
Yeah, they-
the final report,
Okay,
and then they sent that budget.
okay. Well, I'll look it over another time. But I'm just glad they sent in that 118 page report.
Yeah.
I'll call it a report without any budget information.
Yeah.
Really, I was a little bit annoyed. Okay, so let's see, is there anything else on either the cash balance worksheet from Tina or the project?
So we should begin, Orleans, the skate park should send us a closing thing, because they.
Yes, yep, yeah, but we just did their last
Okay.
check.
Yeah, but this looks like there's $600 left. I don't know whether there's something come in since the end of September.
There was.
Yeah, so that's even less than the 600 is what you're saying?
No, well, they closed out their grant.
So to have 600 to
So
return.
600.
No, they
They used it.
spent everything.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think the 600 came in October,
Oh, okay,
so it'll be.
okay. So the next month it'll show as, okay. There you go. All righty, let's see. Sorry. Excuse me. So we're on to the agenda here. I'm going to skip the projects for the minute and just go to the other items on the agenda and then go back to the projects. So I want to talk about the surcharge.
Mary, do you want to do the final report for the open space stewardship for Higgins property before we? switch off of
Was that part of what you passed out to?
Yeah, that was the letter. I think Francis did it,
earlier.
right? That all of the work was done in-house, thanks to Paul and Angela and a third person. They created the app. It's been tested and used and works great. And so we didn't have to spend any of that money.
Oh, so that
So
means
we'll
that-
go back to the open space
yeah, okay,
fund.
so
What is
that's
it, 5,700?
5,500
Yep.
is what I see here.
500, yeah.
And that was,
Stewardship,
Steward-
Higgins.
yeah.
Stewardship project.
okay, so the whole thing,
Mhm.
we're getting the whole thing back, yeah. Terrific. Very good. So we should vote on that. Do I have?
No, don't take the money back. Kidding.
Christmas is coming, maybe we
Yes.
can have a little party.
Okay.
So, do I have a motion to approve the final report for the Higgins Open Space Stewardship Program on the Higgins property?
So moved,
5,005 is being returned.
so moved.
That's me. Second, so that's Dan. And that was Dave? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor of the final report? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9-0. Now, I wanted to talk about the 3% surcharge. I brought up that issue in the past. I've discussed what the town of Brewster had proposed in their last town meeting. I've had several conversations about it with Rich. And Stacy attended one of the meetings. And I want to get people's thoughts on proceeding to allow the surcharge to not be charged to folks that meet the requirements as outlined, as I can read it to you again, but Rich did tell me, because I wanted to get some idea from him what amount of money we were talking about as far as what it would cost us, so to speak. And the figure he gave me a while back was $12,000.
That's peanuts.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
minor.
Yeah, that much.
The
yeah.
decision is really going to be made, not necessarily by us, but at the select board meeting in January, when the RTE, the regional
Residential tax.
residential tax exemption is discussed. So I wanted to get people's thoughts on.
Doesn't it have to go as an article in front of? town meeting?
Yes, so the RTE is scheduled to be discussed on annually in January. And that this piece would be a part of that discussion. And as you say, Ed, it would have to be on the warrant. So I just wanted to get people's thoughts on proceeding in that vein.
Do we have any criteria
yeah, yeah.
The Brewster, it's
I can-
income related
I
and.
can read it to you. If we go the
And
exact
just
same
to
thing.
make sure people know that RTE does not have to go on the town warrant. This would
Yeah,
exemption
yeah,
from the 3%. The RTE, the select board can decide.
I'm just gonna read, Dave, what the town of Brewster used. This amendment will adopt the following exemption from the 3% annual surcharge for property owned and occupied as a domicile by a person who would qualify for low-income housing or low or moderate income senior housing in the town, as provided for in section 3, my glasses, 3E2 of said act. The exemption proposed by this amendment would commence in fiscal year, well, this is Brewster, fiscal year 2025. If we put it in a town warrant at our 2025 town meeting, it would go into effect for 2026. So that's,
Okay.
and as I said, based on what Rich has told me thus far, based on the review by the assessing department, they had come up with a figure of $12,000. Now that would be not paid by the taxpayers. And obviously, if that went into effect, that figure would reduce the matching amount,
Right.
the state match, but by $12,000.
Tiny.
Last year, we received, I think it was 451,000 state matching this, 2 years ago. Last year, it was around 258. If, so I don't think that's going to be a big hit. That's my gut feeling. The 12,000 versus, yeah. So does anybody have any questions on proceeding in this manner?
Yeah, I have a
Right.
question as to how the town assessor determines that somebody, a particular person or property would qualify for this. In other words, is it only assessed based on the assessed value of the property?
No,
No.
How does the assessor find out
the,
who
the,
qualifies?
currently the assessor knows, for seniors who qualifies for
Oh, okay.
the senior exemptions, because there's a whole list of those. And so as far as, I don't think this is age related. So those data, I'm sure Colleen must sort of get with Paul's assistance or something. It's not from the assessing database per se, because it does have to have an income-based thing, and nobody's submitting that except the seniors applying for those low.
Right, so if
Income ones.
somebody were younger,
Right,
they would have to apply because
Right.
nobody would know about them.
right. Right.
Yeah, that would have to be disseminated.
Mhm.
Because the applications to the tax aid committee, there's, generally, 6 to 10 applications a year. To the tax
And
aid,
so-
that would probably be some overlap.
Right, and what Colleen's office and crew does a lot of with the COA is get that education out to people who qualify for whatever. If this gets added to the toolbox, they will take that on too for sharing and getting the word out that come and talk to us, see if you qualify for that. And again, the RTE is a shotgun. You can't manipulate anything. It's state-based, just domicile, whether you need it or not.
Yeah,
and it's
people that don't need it are still part of
Right.
the process.
Right, and implementing that would be a lot of work because there's so many people, there's like thousands.
That's why it's
Right.
discussed in January, because if
Right.
it's going to be put into effect, it's
Right,
time consuming with the
Yeah.
process. Yeah. I just, as I've said before, I find that the tax increase this year was quite large. We had the override. And I just
and the
think that,
peak water bonds too.
and I just think that if we can do something to help people, that it's for relatively, from my perspective, a small amount of money, that it's helpful.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we need a vote?
No, I don't
No.
think we know, no, at this time, yeah, no, I just didn't want to, I wanted everybody to know the process that we were going through and people, the discussions and the amount of money that Rich had recently told me. Oh, Janet. Janet,
It seems to me that our our purpose is to maintain and improve many of the aspects of our town. And if we do that at the expense of people who can't afford to live in the town or couldn't if taxes keep increasing and there are other issues, then that's contradictory. So I support this idea of not having the surcharge for people who aren't able in many ways to pay it. That's my comment.
And from my perspective, I just think that that the townspeople should be aware that we are aware that there are issues with people that have trouble perhaps paying their taxes, and we are aware of that situation, and we want to do something to help the people that we feel might need the help, because we want to have a diverse community here. That's
Yes.
my feeling.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Now, I asked Joanna as our clerk to put together a draft proposal for the Community Preservation Committee for the annual report that goes into the booklet that's distributed, and it needs to be given to, I guess, Kendra in the town clerk's office. So thank you, Joanna, for doing the work, and I hope everybody's had a chance to look it over, and ask people to give me their thoughts on something that they feel isn't there or should be there or should be changed or anything of that nature. Any comments on the draft that Joanna put together for the annual report?
When was it sent out?
I'm sorry?
I have not seen it.
It was part of the packet.
The package.
The
I
packet.
missed it.
Oh.
To get the bill for Mr. whoever, whatever it was, but thank you.
So does anybody have any questions, comments, corrections, additions? Do I have a motion to approve the draft that Joanna put together for the annual report for the Community Preservation Committee?
Move it.
Nope,
So Janet,
I
move
second.
to approve.
see that's Janet and Ed, is that Ed?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye, that's
Aye.
9-0.
Can you send that to Kendra then?
Yes,
Just
yeah,
take off draft it?
yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Joanna. So we'll get that to Kendra, and that will be in the annual report.
And thank you, Stacy, for your correcting my numbers and some errors.
Okay, so we are now down to the projects. Is there anything else that I forgot? Because I'm missing some of my paperwork here because of my insane computer issue. Yeah, okay, so we have 7 projects, 8 including the 40,000 for the administrative assistant. We have to include you.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't put it in the package.
Well, you don't need it.
That would be a rich question. Okay, so we have 8 different projects that we've received requests for. And thank you, Stacy, for putting this worksheet together for us. I'm wondering how, I'm sorry.
Have extras of those.
Yeah, could I have one?
Yes.
My printers died.
You wanna? Oh,
Does everyone need one?
I think Joanna would like one.
Yeah.
Would Tina like one?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Joanna passed around early. Just the matrix that that we worked on as part of the 5-year plan. And then behind it, just very briefly, in the last half hour before the meeting, I put together a short narrative. And I will update this. I just ran out of time.
So I'm sorry, what are you, what?
Yeah, on
Yeah,
the,
behind it.
turn the, behind it, the second
there,
page is
yeah.
just a list of description, of the 8 projects
Oh, okay.
or the 7+ administrative
yeah.
assistant, yeah,
We want to make sure we include Stacy.
Okay. yeah.
We don't want to lose Stacy. So, I'm open to suggestions as to how you'd like to proceed. I've looked through them. What are people's thoughts on? Just, you want to discuss each one today? Do you want to set up a schedule to
Why
just?
don't we take 4 next month and 4 the
Yeah,
month
yeah,
after?
yeah,
Well, they're gonna come in,
Yeah, so they'll
half of them
tell
and-
to come in.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Tell 4 to come in next month and 4 the month after.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
do we, I mean, there's some of these that,
Well.
like Stacy, for
that-
instance.
The why,
Okay.
yeah, I don't.
we can vote on Stacy today, but maybe it would be good to just sort of briefly talk about some, because there'll be some that will want to be later, like January, so maybe we can see which, like, for example, the Massasoit one isn't complete yet, although this, and just, I'm sure you guys have all figured out, but that's now over 2 million, it'll be over
Yes,
$2
I
million
have-
for a single structure.
have a
So
problem with it.
there will be a lot of
Yeah.
discussion
$2
about
million
that.
over $2 million for 2 small little.
Well, for the historic, for numerous, but, and what other sources of funds?
Blows my mind, but that's
Yes,
okay.
I know.
But that one should be probably later, I think, but that's,
Because of the issues and.
Well, they
because of-
haven't-
And because of the
It's just a
information,
draft.
the
They didn't-
data.
They didn't get the
right,
request.
right.
As much as we said we didn't want to get back into the single family thing, for $2 million, we probably could have bought 5 houses.
I agree with you, Ed.
No,
I
it's-
really have a problem.
3 houses.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. I agree.
$600,000 or $500,000 houses, yeah.
You could have taken the 2
Which-
million and. done a lot
Yeah,
more
I
with
know
it.
we don't want to get into that, back
Yeah.
into that.
Actually, the rest of them all are sort of complete and easier, and so it's sort of a, which divide up who wants,
So do you
be
want
done.
to, look them over and decide? Of course, the other thing is that when we ask people
January.
to come in,
yeah,
hopefully they're available. That's another issue.
right.
You see,
Why don't put Massasoit Road last then?
yes,
No, I
definitely.
mean, so just
Yeah,
So,
let's make that number,
we're going to put, well, I'm going to keep the numbers,
yeah,
mhm.
but,
we'll make that.
Date for
7 and just-
presentation.
Okay, I have a
Eight.
question for Stacy.
Stacy, someone.
The
Yeah.
ones that
Oh.
have the lower figures of like, 20 out of 31 or whatever.
So I just went through the scoring matrix and how they, yes, exactly. And some of the lower ones are because they are only for one category. They don't combine historic and housing
Okay.
or open space and housing. So that would necessarily give them a lower score.
Okay, it's not necessarily because they've got missing chunks.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's the same thing. it
Okay.
says.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the other one, like, if we go through in the order of the narrative Stacy did, the second one, the Housing Institute, that's the usual.
I just want to copy that.
Eastham Elementary,
I added them.
yeah,
Yeah.
that phase 1 was the 50,000. Hopefully we'll see what's been done on that, but that's straightforward. We asked them to please come in for the rest.
Right.
The kiosks, there was a question, I think, last time of whether these were qualified. I mean, this is a qualified project. And just so you know, I checked the CPA website and started looking up projects, and there's zillions of them.
Yes.
So there's kiosks and recreations in Amherst, starting with A and all the way to Z. And Dennis has 2 of them from 2014 to 2022. Orleans has kiosks for OCT trails starting in 2018. So it definitely qualifies.
I mean,
But again, that list doesn't necessarily mean that it fits the definition.
Right,
It means that the towns voted on it
Right.
and approved it.
right, right. I think one of the issues was, did it have to be only on land purchased with CPA funds? And this was a mixture of town lands and one was erecting gates at a town forest entrance to prevent, motorized vehicles from going on it. Well, we may need some of those. So these are all, yeah, I think these are good.
But I have a question because I thought you had an excellent comment last
Cape-
time about
Tech school.
Cape Tech
Yeah.
School.
I gave,
Pick up, Brian.
I gave all
Oh.
the information to Francis
Yeah.
and she's going to reach out to the,
Brian.
to the.
To build
town.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that would be cool.
As a matter of fact, the
Yeah.
two people in the woodworking department
Mhm.
over there are both Eastham residents.
I only gave her the one because you only gave me.
Yeah, well,
one name,
Brett's
but
the
yeah.
head,
Okay.
Brett's. Brett
But she
Warren.
did say that, and I think she says in her narrative that they are looking into that, but they would still
Right.
need to have it professionally installed, so there would still be some costs related to
Well,
that.
I mean, they came
perhaps.
out and installed the stuff in the field of
They
dreams.
did, okay, okay,
Yeah.
Kids,
okay.
yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, of course, you're getting
Yeah.
into this won't be improved till next spring anyways.
Right,
Right.
And you're getting into the winter and.
right.
Right, right. And again, it would be great if we, approved this and they gave back 10 of the 11,000, whatever. It won't because wood's expensive, but.
Yeah,
if it-
basically, that's what they charge it for. They
Right.
charge it for the materials.
Right, great.
Yeah.
The historic property survey, I know, we approved 40,000 last year.
It's been a couple of years.
It's been about 8 or 9 years that we've given information, given
Yeah,
It still
money
has
for
a
that.
balance though.
Every year,
Yeah,
but
you
that's
got
what I
that.
wonder so the,
Getting closed up.
Oh, the balance.
They're getting caught up on that balance and this is just so they can keep continuing it.
okay.
Because it's, the houses have to be 70 years old.
75.
So this is never gonna close
Never
completely.
gonna go-
That's right. Well, some of them do go away, but
Yeah.
it's great that we have, at least like with archaeology, you record it before it's destroyed.
You go.
Because
there's one
unfortunately, we're losing a lot of our
on Steel
antiques.
Road, we looked at a little cottage and it wasn't worth going. There's a prefab going in there now. They have the crane in there and
Yeah.
everything.
Is that the ones that were coming down the highway
Yeah,
tonight?
it's a house. Yeah, when I came in, I believe that's on Steel Road. If you want to go by tomorrow, they get the crane down there and everything.
Yeah,
And it's way in the back. It's pretty,
yeah.
Really interesting to get into.
yeah, so good thing to see if you're interested.
So,
Okay, so we're looking at the list, so.
so maybe just sending out to the representatives of each one, I forget our
So-
dates,
so
the
which
December.
ones- Which ones do you think will be, apart from Massasoit, the largest or it will take more time to
We should
discuss
mix
than
up.
some of the others? I mean, some of them are less time consuming than others. Let me see.
I think they're all fairly,
They look pretty.
Yeah,
pretty quick.
yeah,
Yeah,
they all look
some
pretty,
are
Yeah,
Right to
yeah.
the point.
repeats and,
Yeah.
you know.
I guess the one that we might want to spend some time on is the one for the autistic.
Yeah.
My question was to myself was why aren't they asking for more?
Mhm.
Well, some towns are giving more than.
I know, I
they're
saw
asking,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how,
Mhm.
and I'd be interested to ask them, how did they arrive at asking us for this amount or in this town for this
Mhm.
amount in this town? I mean, it's all
Yeah.
over the lot.
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, that doesn't prevent us from offering more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the project in Orleans?
No.
No, it's in
this
Dennis.
time. They finished the one in Orleans and
Mm.
this must be the third iteration because I don't recall seeing it.
Is it the same?
We
one?
weren't, we
People
weren't
had-
asked to give money to the phase one of this
Yeah.
project.
Oh.
But I do have a question, Ed, because there is a project, whatever you want to call it, in Orleans, and I'm not sure.
We gave money to that.
Yeah.
Is that for the same type of people that this one is for?
I thought it
Which
was
is the one
just
behind
It's at Mid-Cape, down-
Mid-Cape.
Big Cape, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Same group.
Same
Same group of
organization,
people,
different-
this for the same
That
types
plan.
of, individuals.
I think they expanded the definition a little more. It's not just autism,
Yeah, they probably get it.
but it's not even. It's not much, you would need so much.
So I'm wondering whether we could put the Massasoit, and as Joanna said, and we've discussed, we don't have all the information on that yet, so we don't want to put that at the beginning. And the housing in Dennis, it's number 7 on our list here. Put that, because that is a larger project. And let me see, then maybe add, let me see, but that's, maybe add one other one, and then do the other 4 together. What are people's thoughts? If we did the Massasoit and the housing in Dennis.
And maybe put the Lower Cape Housing Institute in with that, but let them go first at the January meeting, because they'll be
Lower
the,
Cape housing, that's all housing.
is that a problem having all the housing ones sort
No,
of together? No,
no.
no, okay,
And then did
the other 4.
the Eastham Elementary, Wiley Park,
Mm-hmm,
historic property,
mm-hmm.
and Deacon Payne.
Oh, just Deacon Payne, the funding source should be open space funds, not
Yeah,
undesignated.
I was gonna say that I had a question on that too.
Dec-
Thank you, Joanna.
Yeah. It says undesignated fund
Undesignated,
balance. No,
yeah.
it should be
Should
open
be open.
space. Yeah. And the Wiley Park Trailhead kiosks is being submitted by the Open Space Committee, but simply we put active rec funds.
I think it's passive rec.
I think it is actually.
think it
It's,
should come out of
it's,
your funds.
yeah, open space. I think so too. We, that's what we put it in for, I think. So open space funds. Passive rec, you have to stand there and read. If you're gonna install it, that's active rec, but that's different. Okay,
I think Stacy just, oh, no, it was in the.
so
email.
see,
Oh.
when you send it out, some people may say, we can't do this one, and we'll have to swap things around anyway, but that would
Yeah,
be,
exactly. I'll send out the 2 dates to the 2 different groups and see who
Yeah,
comes back.
okay.
with.
yeah.
So the 2 dates are,
December,
that's what I want to get to,
next meeting is December 4th.
December 4th.
And I think January 1st is the first Wednesday. Obviously, we're not going.
Right.
Going to meet then, so
that's
that
the-
would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
January
January 7th,
8th.
8th.
or 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8th, January 8th.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about the Lower Cape Housing, Eastham Elementary School, Wiley Park, Historic Property Survey. And, no, I'm sorry, not Lower Cape Housing. Forget what I just said. So we're doing the Eastham Elementary School, Wiley Park, Historic Property Survey, and Deacon Payne on
Proposed
December
December 4th.
December 4th. And then on January 8th, we're talking about doing the Massasoit and the Dennis Housing for Autism,
Mhm.
right? And the Lower Cape Housing
Mhm.
Institute, yeah.
Will they be ready for Massasoit by then, or will they need more time?
I don't know. I'll talk to.
Yeah, no,
Paul.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
yeah, I mean,
Sometimes we bump it to
right, that's what I was
February.
thinking. I may not be around for January, but I don't know if I can get on the phone or not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So just a thought, I remember before.
Mm.
Well, and the other thing, we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas and a whole bunch of other things going on with one thing or another, so that cuts back on time that people have available to work on stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was just.
A good question. Yeah. Okay, so we have one left on here, and that is the 40,000 for the administrative assistant. And I think that we can vote on that today, unless somebody has some questions or has some concerns about the quest. Anybody?
Well, I have a question. Sure. Is there a ballpark average of cost increase in positions and and benefits that you're aware of? Because maybe that should not stay the same every year.
Well, it's, this
Yeah.
isn't the only amount that's paid into her
The town.
Well,
paid
Which
that.
is,
The
one-
town- the
which
town-
is one contributing factor.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
but I guess the question is, should we increase our contribution? I mean, that's a question.
I mean, I'm sure.
We
the
have
town would be
administrative
happy.
funds, we, you know, it's 5% every year, and if it's not used, it goes back into the thing,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
So I
So,
just wondered if that should stay.
Would they
Static.
ask for more if they needed more?
well,
Yes, Rich would ask for more if he needed. more.
okay.
He's not shy about that.
Okay,
He's not,
Sure, they're not shy. about
okay,
it. No.
okay. Okay,
If he's having trouble making his numbers work, he will come see you.
okay.
Just wanted to be
Good.
sure.
We'll see if Stacy asks for a raise next time.
Yep. Okay.
okay, so let's, if we're all set, then I think we can vote on the, administrative assistant 40,000 request. Do I have a motion to approve the administrative assistant 40,000
I'll
request?
second that.
Elaine
And I'll second it.
and
Eileen,
Eileen.
Eileen, we're gonna get mixed up,
boy.
just move those letters.
any further discussion? All in favor of the 40,000?
Aye.
9-0. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's not, I need you to take care of our folks.
We appreciate all the work that you help us with. Okay. All righty. Does everybody have everything that they need in order to review for the projects that we've just discussed? I know some of us, Stacy put stuff together for us, but I just want to make sure that everybody has what they need going forward, so they can look it over.
Mhm.
Janet, do you have everything that you need?
She didn't get a package.
Oh,
All 430 pages of
She got the electronic copy.
Electronic.
oh. Do you have somebody that did you print it out? I can't imagine you printed it out.
no, I didn't print it out, but I
No,
read
no,
it
don't-
online.
Don't.
Yeah, right. Do you have somebody that could come in and pick up a package for you, or I could bring a package to your house?
Yes.
I'll be happy to do that.
Someone could pick it up and,
Okay, I'll
I'll call,
I'll get
Stacy and
Stacy to
arrange for
put
it?
the I'm sorry.
should I call Stacy and arrange for
No,
it?
no. I'll work with Stacy and I'll bring it to you.
Oh, well, thank you, Mary.
No problem. All righty, our next meeting is December 4th.
Briefly, just an update on the Field of Dreams fencing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We put it out to bid. We got 2 bids. Back, but one of them. We think the bidder made a mistake because we want 100 feet of fencing and he only bid for 80. So we've reached out to him. I thought I'd have a figure for you tonight, but he didn't get back to us yet. To extend it to 100. The one bid we have is $12,380. Which includes the 100 feet of fence and 2 gates, one for the emergency entrance so the vehicles come up and one at the handicap ramp. We weren't gonna put a gate at the handicap ramp, but after some discussion with the police, fire and the town administrator, we thought that we should
Better
put a
do
gate there, so we're gonna put a gate at the handicap ramp, which really increased the price of the fencing drastically. So we have a bid right now of $12,380. There's 22,000 left in that fund. I'm expecting that the other bid will come in lower than this.
Mhm.
So needless to say, we'll reach out for a 3rd bid and we'll go with the lowest bidder.
Is this the operation or business one that you've used before, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like when
Uh,
we put
the
up.
bid we have right now is
Fencing up,
landmark
so.
fence, and we like to use local contractors.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, there's an outfit in Dennis Pro Fence that's kind of underbid him every time he's come in, but it's just the nature of the game.
Mhm. Okay. So you can let us know next month.
Yeah,
what-
well,
what- what-
by next month, I should definitely have a final figure for you.
Mhm. Yeah, good. Oh, Janet?
Yes, I have a question about the underbidding. Is there any record of whether the proposal was underbid and therefore accepted, and then the costs went over what they had proposed? Or do they stick to their costs, their cost estimate?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever paid more than what the bid was.
Yeah, so like a game to get the project because you've done the low bid, but then make it cost more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're asking.
They would have to
Yes.
come back to us if they exceed their bid, their original submission. So if they bid $10,000, they request $10,000. And the bid was 10,000 and it came in at 20, they'd have to come back. We can't give it automatically. We don't increase our allotments. They'd have
And
to
then
come
it would
back
have
and
to go-
ask for more.
Ask, yeah,
Have to
Well-
go before the town again.
And then has to
Right.
go town.
get approval.
meeting.
Town meeting,
Yeah.
right.
So the answer would be no, they
Yeah,
couldn't.
They can.
they can always spend less.
Yes, they can. We have no problem with that.
Yeah,
But again, this is just part of.
Yeah.
What other phase we are in the field of dreams. I can't remember how many phases we have. So, but there is still 20,000 left in that budget.
Yeah, yeah.
We won't get, it
Mhm.
won't come in.
The fencing is the last thing though.
That is the last thing.
But somebody did tell me once that there's no irrigation in that.
Oh, there's irrigation.
Oh, somebody told me there wasn't any irrigation in that field. Okay,
Because we
well,
have
I'm
to-
glad they're
We
right.
always have problems with heavy vehicles going in there.
No, because of the
breaking
irrigation.
Sprinkler heads.
Okay. Do I have a motion unless there's some,
Got
yeah,
another,
No. Adjourn. No.
not yet. And it relates to Massasoit.
yeah,
And I just don't know where we're going with all this.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you could help us, Eileen, but the town bought the motel across the street,
and Beach Plum.
That's still not done.
and that's gonna come in, obviously, if they decide to tear down the little motel rooms. and build
Well, I
something.
think-
Yeah, where that's at.
Well, that actually did come in and they withdrew their application.
I understand that. All I'm trying to
You're
say is,
expecting it to come
are we
back.
going to blow our entire affordable housing budget on 4 units, 2 here and 2 there,
yeah,
and be
I-
done
I-
with it? Is
It's
that,
not-
is that the goal? And is
No, I
that
have
not my goal, but perhaps Housing Institute goal, affordable housing?
I'm not on the house, yeah.
Who's on
this
that?
is-
Are you on
I
that?
am, but.
What do you think?
I don't have the answer to that right now, but I will
Would
come
you?
back. next
I'm
meeting.
concerned.
I understand the concern and I
Mhm.
know that.
I mean, I'm so frustrated because the planning board back in 2015 approved 115 units for tea time. And the Board of Selectmen decided that was 2/10.
Mhm.
And as a result, we're way behind in affordable
Mhm.
housing.
Yeah.
And look at the bargain we were getting back
Mhm.
then. For about $1 million, we were getting 115 units.
Mhm.
Now we're talking 2 units at 750,000, maybe another 2
Well,
units across the
If
street.
we add what they're asking for right now,
Plus what they.
past 2 times, it's
2
over,
million.
it's over 2 million.
Right.
$2
And it's
million, now-
1,600
let's
square
say they
feet.
go another 750 across the street or maybe $1 million, I don't know. Is this all we
I
get?
don't, well, this is what you get when the Board of Selectmen sit in their hands, because they didn't let that whole vote about accepting the consulting money
Yeah.
go forward. And that was the best, and I have worked in affordable housing for over 20 years.
Yeah.
It was the best design I have ever seen in my
We
life.
liked it. The planning board.
It was gorgeous.
We gave them site plan approval for that, remember? We gave them approval and they. had
Don't
to
start
go.
me.
But I don't mind.
I know.
That horse.
I know. It is,
What it is.
this is going to have a lot of people talking
Yeah, yeah,
about,
yeah.
what are we doing?
Yeah, I
Right.
agree,
And,
I
and
agree.
not only them, but
Which is
us,
good.
what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah,
Are
yeah.
we being responsible?
Right,
Yeah.
I think that's part of the discussion that we have to have
Yeah.
here. Because right now,
Pandora's box.
I would not vote for it.
Okay.
And I apologize,
Yeah.
I'm new on that committee as
Okay.
well, so.
I think that's one of the
Well,
reasons we.
Well, there,
I think if you take our
I-
concerns back
I
to
had
them,
concerns and.
well, there,
That's one of the
placeholder,
reasons why we didn't do the property across the street.
right?
yeah.
Because we were
Because
afraid
as
it
of
was a
right-
Pandora's box. We weren't
As
sure how
of
much.
right,
we're
they
gonna
had
have to put
the
in.
existing house.
Mhm.
That's the zoning. And we didn't feel appropriate, if they never did the additional housing, to spend over $1 million for 1 unit. So it is an issue. I don't know.
Well, when they started with the store, part of was the historic of the store.
Yes.
And I understand, you know, I'm all for that, but I think maybe we thought one apartment was livable and they'd taken the money to redo the building.
Mhm.
So I guess like
Right.
I'm as blindsided as everyone else. All of a sudden, we're gonna spend $700,000 a unit to redo them.
Yeah.
You know, and I agree, but it's, you know, I'm trying
Right.
to wrap my head around it. It just. And if one apartment's bigger than the other, shouldn't one be 7, 1, 350? I mean, I know it doesn't work like
Yeah.
that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they're
We're
both small
frustrated.
apartments. They're
Right.
only 1 bedroom each.
I mean, it might be just as well to do, a 2-bedroom up, make it one unit and have a 2-bedroom as
Mhm,
opposed to 2
mhm.
singles,
Mhm.
2 1-bedroom units.
Oh, good, that would cut a lot of expense. That may make sense.
I don't know, and I'm sure this
Yeah,
has been
no, I-
discussed, but keeping that space for the Council on Aging, thrift store. I volunteer there, not on a regular basis, but it's,
Cramped.
I've been in there myself, so.
there's no, no, it's,
Yeah.
I just wonder why.
No, I
Why,
understand.
why? I don't know. There's got to be something else in town. And the town owns, and this is
Mhm.
Would you?
something else, that town owns
are your
30
feelings
acres.
Like to do away from the store and create another apartment?
I'm not suggesting that. I don't know. I don't know what could be done with it, but it is woefully inadequate for its the donations
So
and,
if it
the-
was
yeah.
moved someplace else, then there possibility of creating another apartment.
I don't,
Except I think part of the doing the
Thing
store
we-
over
we
was,
said that
is it's
before the
historic.
store.
It has to keep going as a store. I
it's,
believe.
the exterior has to stay the same.
Yeah, but I thought that the store, because it had to continue running. I may be wrong.
I don't know
Yeah.
about that zoning aspect. I mean, and the town owns 30 acres, the town uses it as, offers it to a developer, cooperative arrangement.
I think
Mhm.
that-
I haven't heard about any
I mean,
long-term
it's not
plans
a-
for that.
Nightmare, but I think we should be thinking about these things.
Oh, yeah, I
Mhm.
agree.
No, this is
Yeah.
okay in conjunction perhaps with trust.
Well, there was some issue regarding what we spent on the schoolhouse museum
Yep.
last year. Given the amount, and I did go to the sort of the groundbreaking,
You did-
and I know you were there. Or Dave, I guess Dave was there. And I see that they're starting to,
Now, yeah,
do the construction.
foundation's in, they're doing the deck now and they said 6 months. I mean, but
Did they raise all the money?
no, they're still working on that.
So they started construction and they don't have all the money. to
So-
pay for it.
Some might get framed,
I'm
but
not so
it's-
happy. I'm just here.
I don't know.
I'm not real happy about it all. No, just kidding. I'm gonna-
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Okay.
Don't beat me, guys. Yeah.
No, but there's, yep,
Yeah.
some conversations
Yeah,
to be had.
Yeah.
I
right,
agree
yeah,
with you.
Yep.
Yeah. Do I have a motion to adjourn? I think Joanna.
Wait a minute, I'll second.
Joanna's doing it.
Third best, no.
She's first and she's second, I think. Joanna and Dan.
Yeah.
And our next meeting is December
December
4th.
4th.
All in favor of adjourning,
That sounds good.
9-0, and it is, I have 6:05.